Hey, what's going on tonight, music community? And this is Cassette and Mayhem. This is Dan. Welcome to my channel. Tonight I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about a certain album. Metal has always been one of those things, right? For me, it's been around for a long time, since the early 80s when I started getting into it. Actually, I can go back until the 70s, and I had an older brother who would put these big headphones on my head and crank up Kiss Destroyer, and I guess having an older brother, I guess that's where, you know, the influences in music came from. So I was getting it from him. So I thought maybe in this video I would talk about an album that, you know, brings back a lot of memory for me, and it's an album to this day I still play on a regular basis because it's just an absolute great album. And the album I'm going to talk about today is no stranger to anybody in the music community. We've probably all got it. If we don't have it, we've heard songs off it at one time or another. And this band is based out of California, and it's just an absolute flawless heavy metal band. And this album especially is just a phenomenal album, and we're talking about this right here. This is WASP, The Last Command, and on cassette as well, upside down. This is WASP, Last Command. This album I bought when it first came out. Actually, no, I'm lying to you right there. It was released in November of 1985. I bought it probably early spring or throughout the winter of '86. I wasn't familiar. It's not like I wasn't familiar with the band, because I was still into WASP from the debut album, and I remember hearing that debut album and was just like, holy freak. And this album was released in '85. Obviously, I remember seeing the video for Blind in Texas. That was it. That did it for me. I was sold. This band was just absolutely amazing. This album, to this day, is still a rocker of an album. I'm going to go through just some of the songs, and we'll go from there. Again, we're going to talk about WASP. This is The Last Command. So, the album starts off, the very first song, Wild Child. I'm not sure if it should have been a song that should have been the starter of an album, but regardless, it is still an awesome song. I really do love the song. I just thought maybe, you know, it wasn't, to me, it just wasn't a song that jumped right out right quick, right? But it's still a great song. I just didn't think it should have been the start off of an album, but regardless, Wild Child is an absolutely amazing album. And then we go into track number 2. Holy frig, knock your head off with Ball Crusher. Just flat out amazing, you know, punch you in the throat. I just absolutely love that song, right? Number 2, we go with Ball Crusher. Number 3, we go with Greed, I Want It All, with Fistful of Diamonds. Diamonds, gold, silver, I Want It All. Just an absolutely amazing song. I love Fistful of Diamonds. Probably one of my favorite songs off this album. And then we go into Jack Action. Jack Action, again, it's just an absolute killer of a song. Just from start to finish, just Jack Action, Where Are You? Just an absolutely amazing album. That was one thing about WASP, you know, with the whole we are sexual perverts, and you can see in their songs where it all comes from, right? But yeah, so we're gonna start. We're gonna go with Jack Action. Great song. And then they slow it down just a little bit. It's slow but melodic, so it's still pretty heavy. And it's the Widowmaker. As a matter of fact, I got a baseball bat in my truck, and I call it the Widowmaker. And so yeah, that rounds off side 1 with, again, so you had Wild Child, and then you had Ball Crusher, Fistful of Diamonds, Jack Action, and Widowmaker. that rounded off. Widowmaker, again, was a slower song, still a great song. So then you rolled over to number 2 or side 2, and it all kicked off with Blind in Texas. Blind in Texas was the song that really got me going. I remember seeing a video for it, and the video was hilarious, but the song was just an absolutely amazing song. And it's funny because when I bought this album, I thought Blind in Texas would have been the kicker of the album, not Wild Child. I thought it would have been Blind in Texas. But regardless, it didn't matter. Blind in Texas kicks off side 2, and then again after side 2, we go with another slower song, but it still has that that same high pitch, tone, heaviness, but a slower melodic sound, and that's Cries in the Night. Still a very, very good song. Track 8, I do believe, then you hit into the actual song 4, The Last Command, and it is a great song. I absolutely love that song. From there you go into Running Wild in the Streets. I don't hate the song. I just found that song off this album, it's like a filler song. When I listen to these albums, especially this album, I don't fast forward it. I don't skip it. I play it through and through. I play it from start to finish, right? So, Running Wild in the Streets, to me, it was like a filler song. I like it, but it's probably my least favorite song off the album. But it doesn't matter. All in all, still a good song. Again, the very last song, Sex Drive, like, just an absolutely amazing song. I absolutely love this song. So with WASP, The Last Command, I would definitely give it a rating of 9 out of 10, only because of Running Wild in the Streets. Again, I'm not a big fan of it. I still like the song. I don't hate it. I don't fast forward it. I don't skip it. It's just, to me, the album was so good from start to finish. That song sounded like a filler. So, again, November 1985, from California, this is WASP with Blackie Lawless, Chris Holmes. It was the first album that actually featured Steve Riley, who left later on to go to LA Guns, and Randy Piper. This would have been Randy's last album, which was great for Blackie, because Blackie was always a guitar player. So with the Inside the Electric Circus, it gave Blackie a chance to go back, play guitar. They hired Johnny Rod, and Inside the Electric Circus, it's just an absolutely amazing album too. I absolutely love that album. But WASP is one of those bands that's always been with me, and I don't have everything by them. I pretty well have everything by this band. Few albums, Neon God, I think I'm missing part 1 and 2, but for the most part, I do have a lot of the albums. Blackie's voice just never seemed to miss a beat after all these years, and they're still one of those bands that I play probably once a month. There's no question about it. I probably listen to WASP once a month. As a matter of fact, last week I just played Inside the Electric Circus, and they're just a great band. They're just an all-around great band. So there you go, music community. There's my little video on WASP, The Last Command. Again, if you've never heard this album, I highly suggest you listen to it. And it's just, again, it's just an absolute party freaking album. I absolutely love it. So there you go, music community. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, share the word. My channel is back up and running. That's the only bad thing. When I stopped my last YouTube videos and I canceled that channel, I made a mistake and unsubbed all of you guys. So unfortunately, I lost all of my subs. So I'm slowly going back and resubbing people that I had before. So if you reach out to me, let me know. I'll resub your channel again. Please let me know and I'll resub your channel again. So anyways, there you go, music community. I hope you enjoy it. Crank it up. Listen to it. WASP, Blackie Lawless, Chris Holmes, Randy Piper, Mr. Riley on the drums. And crank it up. give it a spin. Until then, stay metal.